You're not going to want to miss this today because we're going to cover some of the most amazing campsites in the Gulf area on the beach. How's it going? Welcome to the Campendium YouTube channel, where it's our hope and our goal to provide you with the motivation and the resources to get out there and camp. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more videos coming out all the time. So today we're going to be covering some of the amazing places to camp along the ocean in the Gulf. It's always a good idea when you're talking about beach camping to heed a few warnings. So it can be dangerous, just to warn you about that, but there's a few things you can do to equip yourself to make those good decisions when you're out there and ready to go camping. We'll put a link down in the description because we have a great article on the Campendium website that runs you through all this, and there's some great tips. But just a couple of those highlights, you want to be as prepared as you can when you go out. So number one, I like to know what the tides are going to be. So if you have a tide chart or a tide app, especially the weather, I want to know what the weather's going to be. So check that, know what to expect. What the forecast is going to be while you're out there. And if you're going to drive out on the sand, there's a few things that might be handy for you to have. A shovel, a tow strap, maybe an air compressor if you had to deflate your tires to get more traction on the sand. You want to be able to re-inflate them when you hit the road again. Those were just a few quick tips, so if you want the full article, check the link down below. So let's dive into our list, starting in Florida. And the first one's in the Everglades, called the Flamingo Campground. Dots on the map said, nice convenient spot within the national park. Emily said, great wildlife hikes minutes away. You can actually see crocodiles and manatees in this national park in the Everglades. It's one of the few places that you can actually see crocodiles in the Everglades. And number two is Fort DeSoto Park Campground. Chasing Tabor said, wow, we wish we could have stayed longer. This campground is a great hidden gem. Probably because it's a county park, so it may be overlooked. But that's better for you. It's surrounded with ocean views for most of the sites and has paved bike, walking / running trails to many more beaches. That brings us to St. George Island State Park. I mean, look at this sunset. I want to know what lens they use to capture this sunset. This is beautiful. Nice pick, Island Girl Walkabout. Gypsy Gem says, first of all, big props to the Forest Service here. This was by far the most accessible state park I've ever been to. Ramps to everything, bathroom set up for easy access, good beach access. It's always appreciated when you can find a nice laid out park. Moving on to St. Joseph Peninsula State Park. Ron said, if you want to see the most beautiful beach in North America, this area is it. Sugar white sand and emerald waters. Moving on to Camp Gulf RV Park. Traveling with Brutus said, this campground lived up to the name, that you can camp on the beach. Our beach site was great, and it even had water and electric on the beach. The pool actually looks pretty inviting on this one too. And that brings us to Bayside Campground. One review says just how fantastic the location is and that the facilities are free. I mean, that's the big story here. This amazing place is free, but you do need a permit to camp here. And that brings us to Alabama with the Gulf State Park. The Crazy Good Life says there are miles and miles of trails suitable for biking, running, and walking. Many of the miles are beautiful boardwalks, and I believe they're adding on even more walkways. Moving on to Mississippi with the Davis Bayou Campground. Wheelhouse Journey says this was a beautiful park with great proximity to the Gulf Coast, beaches, and towns that were very quiet. A terrific value. We'd highly recommend. Moving on to Louisiana with the Rutherford Beach. SS Odyssey says, camping on the beach? Yes, please. This was our first experience beach camping, and oh, it was awesome. The drive to the beach was picturesque. And moving on to our last state, the great state of Texas, we got 4 more campgrounds where you can camp at the beach. And the first one is Bolivar Flats Free Beach. And 188 square feet said, this was our first beach boondocking, and it did not disappoint. Walking up to the ocean right outside your camper is an amazing feeling of relaxation. I mean, come on, who doesn't want that? This is amazing. But let's move on to North Beach Padre Island National Seashore. Van Tramp said, can't beat the price or the view. How often do you get to camp on the beach? Just pick an empty spot on the beach and have fun. Enough said, that's the ticket right there. And if you didn't find anything at the North Beach in the same Padre Island National Seashore, there's a South Beach campground. And for the last campground today is the Boca Chica Beach. Charlie said, on both of our stays, we were virtually the only ones camping on the beach. The few people that came down were there to either fish, sightsee, or have a picnic. Well, that's gonna do it for our list today, so if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and remember to keep exploring and to travel safe. We will see you next time.